Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so today we are going to be having a look at the Cooler's Armored Squadron unit from the new Cooler banner. Obviously summonable as the physical Thouser and then awakens into the Cooler Armored Squadron. Obviously they are one of those units that if you do end up pulling multiple copies of them, you can run the SSR and the TUR on the same team, because the SSR is just Thouser by himself. He's pretty decent on his own. I think Truth did a rainbow showcase for him in his SSR form, and he's not bad, but I can't see many people using him and the TUR on the same team, just because there are obviously a lot of other options that fit under the same category. But of course he is going into the general SSR pool once the Cooler banner goes away, or when, like, if a new banner comes out while it's still here, because they've been doing that quite a lot recently. Usually it was only after the banner disappeared, but they will be in the general SSR pool. So I know a lot of people are on the save for the 5-year train. You will probably end up pulling at least one copy of this guy at some point when you next go ham on some summons. So Cooler's Armored Squadron, we're going to have them linked up with Cooler. This works for a couple of reasons, just because they have a couple of links with him, but also the fact that Cooler himself is a support unit. So, although technically, I guess against one opponent, he's actually not a support unit for them, is he? Because the one opponent he supports Transformation Boost, 2 opponents he supports Terrifying Conquerors. So basically, they are a sub-lead for Terrifying Conquerors. They give 3 key and 120% to stats. So obviously, if you don't pull Cooler, but you do pull them, you can run them as a lead, and then run a Cooler friend. 120% is obviously not bad, especially if you are running a Cooler friend. It's a pretty decent total altogether. So we got the hidden potential kick in as well. So we did 3 additional normal attacks. So basically what they do is they can launch 2 additional attacks, each of which has a 15% chance to become a super attack, as long as you have a Cooler unit on your team. So this will include any Cooler, this Cooler, like technically 4th form Cooler, final form Cooler, and of course Metal Cooler as well. Those will all activate that part of their passive. Obviously without that they do not get any guaranteed additionals, and then of course being a physical unit at 55% they have a free level 5 additional, so 10% chance to get another additional attack, which is what we saw in that previous turn where we got 3 normals. So obviously if you get the full-on god roll for RNG, they can super attack 4 times in one turn, even at 55%, as long as you have a Cooler unit on the team. And we're running a full Terrifying Conquerors team here, because this plays into the other part of their passive, which is attack and defense 30% per Terrifying Conquerors ally on the team, and that has no cap. So as long as you have a full team of units in that category, they are going to be getting the maximum boost. I believe it includes the friend as well, so basically that's 210% attack and defense, which is pretty good. So let's see, from a super attack here, 100k, I mean, not bad for 55% unit, and then 1.2 million attack stat. Obviously we do have the Metal Cooler support, and then one of the good things about their potential to launch built-in additionals, although unfortunately we're not seeing the additional supers here, but they do lower attack and defense with their super attacks. So obviously if you are taking on an event where the enemy can be attack lowered, things like Super Battle Road for example is a pretty good one, you can launch multiple super attacks, which means you'll be applying multiple instances of attack down to the enemy. And obviously, as we've gone over in things like the no item runs on Super Battle Road, if you can isolate one enemy and repeatedly hit them with attack down effects, they basically can't do any damage to you outside of a super, even in difficult modes like Super Battle Road. So I guess because of the way their links are set up, you're probably always going to run them with a Cooler anyway. I mean, it almost seems stupid not to, considering the considering the fact that they won't get those guaranteed additionals, because they will launch 2 additionals guaranteed. It's then just down to RNG whether or not you get super attacks with those additionals. So obviously you're going to basically always want to be running them on a team with Cooler. And I mean, they're taking double digits from normals, which is pretty decent. I mean, you'd expect as much, I guess, from such a high percentage attack buff, attack and defense buff. The only thing I think that lets them down is their link set. So they have links like Cooler's Armored Squad, which is a 25% attack link, but the only cards that have it are the 3 units that you see in the art, like Thausa, Naze and Dore are the only units in the game that have that link. Like, Cooler doesn't have it himself. So I guess the only unit you could run is there's the SR AGL Thausa that's on the banner that does awaken into an SSR, so he can be awakened up to UR, which means he can use hidden potential, but he doesn't have like a TUR, so he's really not very good. I mean, obviously he is on the category, so he does still fill out that part of their passive, having Terrifying Conqueror's allies, but he's really not a very good unit. So I think realistically your best bet is probably to just bring a support unit that gives at least 25% attack, and then obviously that helps out the team overall rather than just one link with them. And then same thing, they have Cooler's Underling, which is a 1 key link, which again, not many other people on the team are going to have. Loyalty, Cold Judgment is a 20% defense link, which is pretty decent. They do have Shocking Speed, which is good, and then they have Brainiacs for 10% attack and defense. Obviously that's a little bit more common and quite a decent link. And then of course they do also have Fierce Battle, because they awaken with the medals from the new Cooler event. So they're definitely decent. Obviously they kind of just fall into that same sort of category as a lot of the cards that we've been seeing lately, that debut on these banners and then go into the unfeatured pool, where they are pretty decent and they'll work fairly well on like the team of the main unit whose banner they were on. But obviously for a lot of people, depending on how old your account is and like what other units you have, like if you pulled Cooler and you have a reasonable selection of like freezer based units that are in Terrifying Conquerors, or of course like the many transformation boost options, units like Janemba, who I imagine most people probably picked up with a redstone at some point, since he's been considered one of the best one of the best TURs on global since he got his EZA pretty much. There's just so many options that are better on the team than him, which is kind of unfortunate, because obviously, you know, having a over 200% attack and defense boost on a full Terrifying Conquerors team is pretty decent for a general pool SSR. It's just, yeah, unfortunately there are many better options for who you can run. So we should be able to get the Dokkan attack here. Alright, cool. So let's see how much we can do. We've got Turles on the rotation. I transformed Cooler since they don't get the buff from his support passive anyway. And let's see what we can get here. So Turles probably the best support that fits under their category. 1.28. I think that's the highest attack stat I've seen from them in my testing. I believe I did post a screenshot yesterday on Twitter. Let's see if we can actually get some additionals here, because I don't think they'll just one-shot Vegeta with the Dokkan attack here. Come on, give me at least one additional super. Have they actually additional supered in this event at all? So, kind of disappointing, because the screenshot I posted yesterday showing that 1.2 million attack stat, after I took that screenshot, they literally super attacked twice more. So they didn't get the hidden potential, but both their guaranteed additionals were super attacks. So, of course, it's typical that when we go to show it on the video, we're not getting the additional supers. But again, that is just something to factor in. Like, we're showing off the unit how they actually function, and that is obviously something to bear in mind, the fact that because that part of their passive is so RNG based, you're not necessarily ever going to see additional super attacks. So obviously units that have built-in additionals do have that function where they will be more likely to trigger additionals from the hidden potential system. And then of course, because I said the attack lowering on their super attack is so useful, I would probably suggest that if you do pull multiple dupes of them, I would give them quite a bit of additional Obviously crits are good for them to actually deal damage, but they're never going to be like the hardest hitting unit on your team. So personally I would probably go for something like 12 additional, 11 crit and 3 dodge, but we'll see. Depends whether I actually pull more copies of them. So, well, I guess it'd be, wait, I'm doing my maths wrong in my head, so it'd be 11 additional 12 crit. Yeah, maybe 14 additional 9 crit 3 dodge, something like that. I don't know, but I would prioritise additionals over crits, because then any events that you take them into where they can lower attack, those additionals are going to come in handy. I honestly think that's the best place to use them. Like if you want to run like a Terrifying Conquerors team on Super Battle Road or something like that, where attack lowering is very important, I think that's the best place you can probably run them. So, can we get an additional super? Are we going to do the whole video here without one? There we go. At least we can feel safe ending the video here. We got at least one additional super. Of course, it's at the point in Infinite Dragon Ball history where we can't lower attack, but and we got the hidden potential one as well, so there you go. And they're still taking pretty reasonable damage. Like once you get to Super Trunks, units who aren't that great defensively will definitely not be taking that lower damage from normal attacks, so that is not bad at all. So let me know what you think of them down below. Did you pull them from the banner? Did you pull Cooler? I've definitely been having a lot of fun trying out this team, so let me know what you think of them down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.